Boom. Hey everyone, Pauline from Chronically Spicy, and I am finally online. See, part of the reason I took me until my mid 30s to get diagnosed with ADHD is because, and I'm not even kidding when I say this, I just thought I was running on Mexican time. My cousin, my daughter's godfather, showed up for his wedding along with his bride in separate limousines an hour after the wedding was supposed to have started in the middle of July in an ancient, beautiful church in Mexican town, Detroit, with zero air conditioning and all of these giant oscillating fans. You stand up and like place everywhere, right? To try and just get air to circulate so people wouldn't pass out just sitting there doing nothing. So like the kids running outside, everyone's doing their thing. You know, you knew how close to the um, you could tell the first you could tell who the immigrants were, the first generations, and it was second generation and on who were like, wasn't this wedding supposed to don't go there. They'll get here when they get here. Father didn't even blink an eye. Like the priest did not even blink an eye at all. Um, and it was both hysterical and it was also like, um, see, I don't have ADHD. I just, I'm Mexican. Mm, No, I have both. I have both. I have Mexican. Um, Not really. I'm also allergic to being Mexican, but that's a different post. That's a different video. Um, so I am here because I am one trying to start getting my content on more than one platform, so that if anything like the whole TikTok, 14-hour we're losing everything, um, you know, thing happens again, um, we aren't just caught by surprise. And two, basically, um, I'm thinking of separating the things that I post on TikTok versus YouTube versus Facebook and everything because I'm trying to pay attention to how other people are doing this stuff and try to make better use of social media sharing for the benefit of my community. Most of my community is chronically ill, has autoimmune conditions, neurodivergent, ADHD, autistic, both, or is the parent of someone with these issues. Pardon me, I've had a cold for a week now. 4 days ago, so it was 103.7. Um, I've been in bed for 3 days, and today for about 5 minutes, I was like, "Am I like still alive?" Because I took our temperature, my temperature, and then hers, and guess what? It told me that I had a 94-degree temperature, and she had 92, and I'm like, we'd be, yeah, I'm right. Um, I'm like, it's got to be the batteries. So we changed them, and we're normal. We're good. Better. Hopefully tomorrow is hopefully tomorrow is like hugely better because right now, all right, let me see. I'm trying to figure out how to see. There we go. Hey, Ripanoff. And how are you? Lena, how are you? Oops, accidentally hit you. So I am. 1 second. I try to not do this during lives because I'm not exactly running an ASMR channel. Although I probably should for like people who like some ice cream. Because I don't know what's going on with it. But with my anaphylactic reactions, which I get on a pretty freaking steady basis, like 2 to 4 a day. When that is happening or it's about to happen, my tongue and my mouth like lose all moisture. Okay, I'm talking tongue sticking to teeth, to lips, lips sticking to teeth, tongue sticking to mouth, and I look like I am literally mummifying in front of the person I'm talking to. It's insane. Um, so I I've had a couple of people mention to talk to a doctor about Sjogren's syndrome. We'll have to see what they say about that. I got a call tomorrow, so I was for the rheumatologist, and I also have to call tomorrow for the epilepsy specialist so I can get that either confirmed or ruled out because I'm having some type of seizure activity, but the actual cause has not been determined. Mind you, I have multiple conditions that can lead to the type of seizures that I'm having, which I'm not diagnosing. I'm just sharing the potential type of seizures I might be having based on feedback from friends in the medical community who have seen the videos. Um, and those could be focal, semi-focal, with head drop, the kind where like I hallucinate a little bit. It always happens at night when I'm home, sitting on the couch. There's usually a trigger, and I'm almost positive the trigger is always histamine, like a huge, massive histamine dump. So because the one in Maine that happened after I drank half of a Trenta like green tea or something. That's hugely high in histamine and knocks me right out. Not like unconscious out, like Alice in Wonderland, like La La Land out. Okay, and I also um, need to figure out, so we need to figure out the cause and go from there. So I'm thinking on YouTube, I want to stick to the type of content that I've been sharing over on, and I have a ton of videos to port over and put under the different news, under the different playlists. Let me know if you have any questions about anything I'm saying. If you have any questions about anything you've been you had going on, or anything you'd like me to look into. But yeah, I've been dealing with this for 17 years, and about 15 of those years I was dealing with it on my own. So, not the best time. I'm not even sure how many anaphylactic reactions I have, um, you know, survived over the 15-year period before I was diagnosed. And in my opinion, and not giving medical advice, just sharing personal observations and personal experience. MCAS aware doctors, especially if you're on Xolair, or are known to have quick, fast, hard reactions, are the ones who should be walking around carrying multiple epi, not just one, at least two. I've had two EpiPens fail on me in the same box from the same lot, And well, since then I carry 4. So yeah. Um, always call the manufacturer, let the pharmacy know, all that stuff. I'm chewing on one piece of ice and I should be good, okay? One second. All right. Well, let me what we're doing this. I don't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it. Oops. We'll leave it alone. Okay, so yep, just me here. It's all good. Trying to figure out if I should stop the live for YouTube for TikTok over here and do it on my phone so people know to look on Restream. I'm not sure if this notifies people on TikTok that I'm going live. Let's do it. And currently inviting some friends. Some of my mutuals. At least the ones that I know are like, you know, late nighters. Because it took me forever to figure this out tonight. All right. So here is the bottom line. I have mast cell activation syndrome. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have Behçet's disease, which is an autoimmune condition that causes your body to attack its own blood vessels and results in hardening of the skin, like instant callousing of the skin, changes in coloration of the skin in the affected areas. And it just turns me into a giant mess. Everything hurts. And I have bent syringes trying to administer medications that I am prescribed. It's absolutely insane. And it hurts like a, you know what, okay? And the more it hurts, the more I know I need the medication. So I have to like basically use myself as human pincushion to make it work. Just so you know, I am also live streaming on YouTube, where I plan on doing the majority of um, live streams as soon as I get more of you over there. I think I'm at 537 subscribers. And how is everyone doing? Hey, WikiWee and Mercy Mayo Moya. I like that. Moya, yep. And Lovely Starfish and Fancy Twale 22. Love that. How are you? Hope everyone's doing well. I know I said I was going to go live earlier. It took me a while to get here because, um, well, unmedicated ADHD and I run in Mexican time. And honestly, I didn't realize that I was not properly connecting the dots trying to use the streaming service that I do with the free features. And it took me a little while to figure things out. Plus, I haven't been feeling well. I've been working and walking super slow. I even took I even walked my dogs to the mailbox carrying or using the walking stick, the one that I got from the Renaissance Festival. Hey Vesper, yep. Okay, 1 second. One. This is what do I say again? All right, capillary refill. Oh, let me do this first. Capillary refill. I think that was pretty good, except the skin's like harder. I would actually bend a syringe trying to inject something in my index finger right now. That's because I premedicated before I started the live stream. Yeah, I am not pretty pretty good. Monday, 3 to 4 days ago, I had a temperature of 103.7. I've been in bed most of the day for the past 3 days. Haven't had much of an appetite. Did not know that I was supposed to go to the hospital for adults if you have a temperature over 103. Mainly because I uh, did not look online on purpose in case I saw the information, because then I'd be required to be like, okay, I know now, so I have to go. And I did not want to ruin things for my family. Um, because my dad, wow, kiddo's dad had a business trip, and I was trying desperately to not screw things up for him. Um, so um, I've been through hell. I've walked the dogs after making dinner and putting away clothes and cleaning the house with walking pneumonia and anaphylaxis. Um, Active anaphylaxis during -40 before the wind chill, you know, uh, episodes. So, like, this isn't exactly like, I'm not bragging. It's not a flex. I shouldn't have had to wait this long for an answer. But, see, trying to make sure my tongue, for some reason, can anybody tell me why I can drink water, sip it all day long? Okay, zero relief, zero. Okay, I don't feel it in my tongue. I can feel it go over, but it's like there's a barrier. Okay, almost like wearing, I don't know, a neoprene wetsuit when you get when you're going or whichever kind of wetsuit keeps your body dry. I don't know what they're called. Um, when you go deep sea diving, and then you end up, hey, K9 and Jules and Apple user, how are you? And Sarah. And so anyway, whatever equipment you put on it keeps you dry. It's like that. It's like that. Like I can't feel the water. I'm chronically dehydrated. And no, that's not a pun on my username. Like I am chronically dehydrated. Nurse practitioner and I were discussing the possibility of um, saline IV treatments at the last appointment. Hello, Chona and good nurse. How are you? Um, and I had to explain to the nurse, to the nurse, sorry. Well, she is my nurse. She's my nurse practitioner. I was like, yeah, but I'm already allergic to latex. So unless there's like another way to attach, um, even if it's just like a weekly thing where like I know there's services, I don't know if they're here, but if even if it's a service that comes to the house like once or twice a week to like do the infusions, um, then okay, but like that's still regular and repeated exposure to adhesives and other things, right? And those adhesives contain latex allergy stabilizers, which also I'm allergic to because I'm allergic to ethylenediamine chloride, which is a stabilizer of natural latex. So, and if I'm not allergic to that, I'm allergic to the coconut derivatives. That's probably in the adhesive. I can't be out of my nose. Okay. Vesper, you still here? Um, So everybody, please tap the screen. Please hit the like. Please let everybody know I'm here. And if you're on YouTube or if you're not on YouTube, please go over to YouTube for a second. Hello, Soshi. How are you? Um, and Rachel and Nana and Sarah. How are you? How are y'all doing? Um, so anyway, I know that there are plenty of people with latex allergy who, you know, TPN feeds, continuous glucose monitors, etc., all that stuff. Well, that's a problem. I'm already anaphylactic to latex, and it's repeat exposure that makes the allergy worse. Right now, I'm to the point where I had to switch all of my shoes to latex free shoes. I had to get rid of all of my Converse. That made me cry. I had to get rid of all of every other shoe I had. And for about a year, I only owned two pairs of shoes. And, they had to do, they had to be good enough for I have like a little house on the prairie shoes, like the here. This is a walking to school and like playing in them and playing with friends outside shoes, and these are your Sunday school shoes. Like that's basically where I was at. Um, and then I had to keep on trying more and more, but tap the like, tap the screen, like that. Okay. Um, because I am going to start limiting my lives and stopping at exactly an hour if I do not get to 2,000 likes. That's my goal. For 1 hour. My phone, or what time is it? No. Uh, for about 1:09 a.m. PST. Is it 12:09, babe? Hey, babe. Hi. What time is it?
12:09.
Okay, so by 1:09 CST, I want to see 1,000 taps, 1,000 likes. And if not, if I don't get there, then okay, maybe this isn't the platform for live streaming, but I would love to start getting there. Okay. Um, and I have a lot of people asking me a lot of questions about everything from how to find the right doctor for mast cell activation syndrome, for hi, a for how to get to uh, oh, oh, mm, tryptase testing and what it means, how important is it. I have one of my followers who is telling me that her doctor's like, yeah, we'll get to it, because they keep on trying to put off the MCAS conversation, essentially. Um, Mainly because, well, she's getting the vibe that he either doesn't believe her or he just doesn't know what MCAS is and isn't quite sure how to actually say the words. It's not hard. It's not. This isn't my specialty. I'm not sure what to do. We should probably, bring in a specialist on this. Um, while we're waiting, why don't we see which medications work best for you, that I can prescribe, to try and keep you stable, until you get to the specialists that you need. Okay. Um, let's get it. Lee's gift shop. How are you? Thank you for liking the live. I just followed back. Um, if it's behind me, I won't see it and grab it as much. Um, Drinking water is nothing for me. I have to actually chew ice for it to like feel like my tongue is hydrating. I don't understand why. Um, I don't think it's always been like that, but it's definitely been like that for at least the last maybe 4 years. I didn't realize that I was getting like incredibly like dry mouthed and things were a mess. And Mayo Clinic staff, because that was where I was all summer, Mayo Clinic staff in Jacksonville, Florida was like, hey, user and C that are light, and Rami Liz and Brady, how are y'all doing? Thanks for joining in. Please stick around. And I need your help, guys. I haven't asked anything of my community before. Um, and there's a reason I'm posting this on YouTube and on TikTok, because I know that on YouTube I will be able to, this will become a video that I can place in the MCAS playlist. But if you can please share out the live to any of your friends, mutuals who you think might be interested or are going through the same thing, I would highly appreciate it, because my mast cell activation was clinically diagnosed under Afrin Consensus 2, because Consensus 1 is the one that's like high tryptase this, that has to happen, that has to happen. There's like 4 criterion. There's also 4 criterion for Consensus 2, but it doesn't require the elevated tryptase portion, which is smart because only 30% approximately of patients with MCAS show elevated tryptase even during a flare. And bigger surprise, mastocytosis, which is the first and most severe of MCAS conditions. Um, that one can lead to cancer, leukemia, etc. Um, 18% of those patients do not show elevated tryptase. Somehow, in this entire giant world, three people, three people made it to the same comment section, found that video, and were like, "Yeah, I'm one of that would be me. I have mastocytosis, and my tryptase is fine." And I'm like, "Okay." So, yeah, that's a big deal. So it wasn't my tryptase, even though I had doctors who told me we ain't doing this anymore. Stop asking, and we're not. No, I am not going to diagnose you based on you know your normal tryptase levels. And at the time, I didn't know that tryptase does not play the role that everybody thinks it does, because doctors are basically confusing mast cell with mastocytosis, and things get a little fuzzy because sometimes there's a ton of similarities, but there's like it's kind of like saying like lung cancer and pancreatic cancer. Well, they're with cancer, so they're treated. No. There's differences. They're both cancers. Yes, they both have white blood cells and stuff that keep on duplicating and replicating, and things like chemo that are all you know similar, but there's going to be very real and very different approaches to how exactly these conditions are going going to be treated. Okay, because they're different in and of themselves, right? Now, same thing for mastocytosis, mast cell, MCAS, MCAS. And there's going to be different levels of severity for everybody who has any of the conditions. All right. Um, just so you know, I will probably do a screen grab of the finalized video once it's in the playlist, and share it so everybody knows they can go over to YouTube to see it, because on what's it called, on YouTube, it doesn't disappear. Okay, it stays as part of my library, which I love. So, one second. I like that username.
Me?
Thank God for SC. I don't know what it means, but I say thank God. Okay. I'm the kind of Catholic who doesn't go to church, um, unless I have to. I'm Mexican Catholic. Okay, and that
You'll
means
still do the sign of the
cross.
You'll still do the sign thing whenever you find your keys.
Yeah, if I've lost my keys, if an emergency first responder vehicle drives by, fire truck, police car, ambulance with the lights and sirens going, passing the cemetery. It's this every time, because I learned that from my aunt, like Thea. But like my father grew up on a farm in Mexico till he was 11. It was a small, dirt poor. They had only enough to feed themselves, and they lived off of what they grew and or raised. And he was like, we didn't really have time to go to church, um, especially when his dad was out of the country working to send money back, so he could have everything set up for the family to move them to the United States, to the Detroit area. And he was like, as long, my dad was like, doesn't matter if you go, um, it's just that you have a relationship. You have a faith.
Just like, don't be horrible to people and you're probably good.
I like how you self-edited that. Good job.
I'm very good at summarizing.
Yes.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure that's all Jesus, like, biblically speaking, would care about. So.
Hello, Macy and Michelle and Rita. How are you? Okay, so here, I'm just going to jump into it because I'm not going to lie. I don't think this is going to happen because I don't think I have the kind of like pull that a lot of other people do, like get people behind them, probably because I'm awkward as a rock, trying to like stay afloat in a swimming pool. It ain't gonna happen. Hi, autism and ADHD. But I need your help, and I need anybody's help who sees this video, because I have not only do I have mast cell and EDS and fibromyalgia and chronic pain syndrome and chronic fatigue and neuropathy and paresthesia and ADHD, autistic, um, and medical PTSD. Um, I think those are the main ones. And the 225 allergies I've tried so far, I still have 8 pages of Google Docs to finish charting, and I have to finish that by Monday. And then I have to create my daughter's list. Her list is a lot shorter than mine. I think she's gonna have to like maybe 10 max. But I found out at the Mayo Clinic that even though I'd been tested a billion times for elevated tryptase, doctors, if you're watching, pay attention. Anybody who's watching, please share this with your favorite doctor, who is on social media. I don't care if they're ER. I don't care if they are concierge. I don't care if it's the main office account. How just I need you. I need the doctors to see this too. Okay, because I had a dermatologist who completely dismissed me for 4 years. 4 freaking years. Please tap, tap, tap. I'm trying to get to 1,000 likes every hour. And I can probably go for maybe an hour and a half tonight or so. And the more likes we get, the more the algorithm actually knows that y'all want to see what I have to say, right? And I'm here for awareness, okay? Because I don't want anybody to go through the same crap that I've been through. Because High Life with Auntie, how are you? Thank you for the gift. I love you. You are the absolute best, and I appreciate you like you wouldn't believe. Can I invite you on to if you want to hang out? Yes, I can. I just sent an invitation. You don't have to accept it. It's just if you want to, okay? No pressure. So here's what I need, okay? Because I don't like asking, which is why I've never done this before. But I would actually rather offer things for sale and tell you where you can buy them than just say, hey, can you like donate $5 to Cash App or Patreon? Hey, I'm gonna call you Auntie. Okay, can I call you? Yeah, And I grew up speaking Spanish, so my mom's side of the family, because they spoke English, were all aunts, and my dad's side of the family was tias. But anyway, like I've got all this art, like postcards that I've drawn and stuff like that, right? I lost you, Auntie. And this one, and then there's this is one of my favorites. That one, My Day of the Dead Son. I absolutely love. That's all hand doodled, and then watercolor penciled, and then I had it turned into a pencil, and then I had it turned into a postcard. The best part about these things is that a lot of people will buy a frame for their recipient, or tell them to buy a frame when they receive it, because that's some thick quality paper stock there. Bottom line, oh, and then my Day of the Dead Skulls, which I'm working on colors that are specific for, like, Fourth of July, St. Patrick's Day, and Valentine's Day, right? If anybody's interested in booking like a 30-minute like one-on-one session, or if you're interested in grouping, like joining like a group session, let me know and see what we can put together. The reason I'm asking all of these things, I'm bringing all these topics up, is because I don't. If you want to, yay, and I'm not going to stop you. All of my links are in my bio. I will put the link in the description box for my link tree on YouTube. But my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal, everything's there. I was told when I was at Mayo Clinic that I had Behçet's disease. Behçet's disease is an autoimmune condition that actually causes your body to attack its own blood vessels, leading to and resulting from chronic inflammation, and it can cause everything from nerve, stroke, seizure. It can cause slurring. It can cause all those horrible welts that I get, skin darkening. My hand is not dirty. See that? My hand is not dirty. That's because I'm in the middle of a flare. Okay. And that's not gonna go away. I washed my hands like 5 times today. That is that color until the flare is gone. Okay. And my daughter, she hasn't been diagnosed, but she has complete and total darkening of her entire neck when she is actively flaring from whatever it may be. And I would at least like to have it removed as a possibility. We need to like at least eliminate the possibility. Anyway, the average person who does not have all of the crazy allergies that I do is put on, usually, there's eye drops, medicated. I'm allergic to eye drops because of one specific allergen. I'm also allergic to nasal sprays, except for the cromolyn sodium, which is literally just cromolyn sodium and distilled water, I believe. H2s. Hello, Debbie Smith and Grace and Graham Norris. How are you? And Sylvia Rodriguez and Angie P. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. So I found out at the Mayo Clinic that I'd been diagnosed already, okay, with mast cell. The base shots was new, and surprised the hell out of me in the sense that I'm sorry, what can happen with this condition? Because I don't like any of that. And the worst part being, I'm allergic to pretty much every option of medication there is for this condition. Except possibly one. If you want to see what I'm doing, you can go to YouTube and open up the Chronically Spicy page, and you'll be able to see the screen share because I'm going to show you. Let me see. All right, leukotrienes. So leukotrienes, we're going to PubMed, okay, PMC. My initials. My middle name is Mercedes. I only give information from reliable, reliable, the same sources I would use if I was writing for the Washington Post again, or any other any other publication, because it wouldn't pass muster with a big name publication as a source. I am not about to pass it on to because somebody said it on Wikipedia. Okay, but bottom line on leukotrienes and how they work. Usually they're involved in asthma, but so it says acute asthma attacks often triggered by allergens or exercise inflammatory molecules called leukotrienes. I have had a high CRP, C-reactive protein, a marker for chronic inflammation and also basically just overall like cardiac health, and general health in between. It's been it's been sky high for so long that at this point, doctors don't even blink and are like, "Cool, okay, we'll see you in 6 months for your next." Okay, and I know what means more than that, right? So, inflammatory molecules called leukotrienes are one of several substances which are released by mast cells. It's not just tryptase. Thank you. I did not know that. I didn't know that, okay, until I got to the Mayo in Jacksonville. So leukotrienes are usually released by the mast cells during an asthma attack, and it's leukotrienes which are primarily responsible for the bronchoconstriction. Here's the problem for me. I am allergic to ethylene dihydrochloride, which is it's in too many things to mention right now for this post. I will have to do a breakdown, which will most likely be a series on YouTube, as I put that list together, as I finish working my way through that list, okay? Please keep tapping the screen. But here's the problem. Ethylene dihydrochloride is a man-made chemical that basically opened the door for a lot of good in the medical world and relief for a lot of patients who are suffering from things and conditions that couldn't be helped before. But at the same time, my body came out going, no leukotriene, ethylene dihydrochloride bad. And it's also a stabilizer, natural latex. Hello, Drew, for what? Drew from Drew from Rehoboth. Okay. Gray Panther, how you doing? Deanna and Spirit, I like your name. So I'm allergic to ethylene tetrachloride, okay? That makes me allergic to latex automatically. I found that about 17 years ago. I do have asthma. It's exercise induced and cold weather induced. But I can't use an inhaler or shouldn't use an inhaler because the propellant for the asthma inhaler to get into your lungs contains ethylene tetrachloride. Um, it just occurred. I think my daughter came up with this. Tell me if you're the one that brought this up, or if I dreamed that you brought this up. Are you the one that were like, can't you just ask for it to be nebulized?
Probably brought it up.
Okay, I'm pretty sure my 17-year-old was like, 'cause she has everything too, almost everything. Our diagnostics are the same except for she has POTS and Abbey syndrome. Um, both are equally bad. Yay! Sorry. Um, in their own special ways. Um, but my PT at the Mayo Clinic was like, so we need to get you need to get a mobility aid to like a wheelchair for when you're having bad days and stuff. And I was like, I love you, doc, but then who the hell's gonna push hers? Like I can't. I can do a walking stick. I can use a cane if I need to, and I'm having bad days. And I've had them. I've had in the last year 4 alerts from in 2024 plus the beginning of 2025. I think I've had 5 Apple Watch alerts stating that I'm a much higher level for danger of falling. I've never had that before. Hello, Deanna. And it always scares me when I see that because I'm like, well, that's great. Um, what? All right. So because I'm allergic to leukotrienes, okay. Or not allergic to because leukotrienes, my leukotriene level is sky high. All right. Um, so during an asthma attack, it's leukotrienes which are primarily responsible for the bronchoconstriction. In chronic, more severe cases of asthma, general bronchial hyperactivity for smooth muscle twitchiness is largely caused by eosinophils, which are attracted into the bronchioles by leukotrienes or leukotrienes. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Okay. Um, and other chemoattractants, and which themselves also produce leukotrienes. Thanks, guys. My number is already like triple digits higher than it should be. Thus, leukotrienes seem to be critical in both triggering acute asthma attacks and in causing longer term hypersensitivity in the airway in chronic asthma. Well, crap. This is why I probably should have looked this up the minute I got home from my last visit at the Mayo. Because I'm like, what? Um, because they know that I can't wear I can't use an asthma inhaler. Like, I mean, I have when like I've had no choice. But now if I feel like I can't, now I like, if I feel like I need to reach for an for an asthma inhaler, which I don't have a prescription for, I use my epi. Guys, if this is because I have untreated asthma, I'm going to scream. I'm going to scream. I will literally lose my effing mind. Hello, Mim. Triste, how are you? And Christina Noom. If I accidentally Spanglishized your name and it wasn't meant to be, let me know. I automatically, without realizing it, I see a new word or a new city, and I automatically pronounce it in Spanish, even though my Spanish is actually like basically crap. I've seen way too much K-pop, with Korean, with K-pop and T-pop, and
just any sort of like.
I've seen way too many
pop
Asians who
stuff.
Can sing and dance at the same time without passing out with perfect precision and like holy what voices and lyrics that make you go, damn.
Why are we on K-pop now?
Because, damn it, you made me forget. Oh, because why I say English names. They all speak better Spanish than I do. All of them. They beat my ass in Spanish.
Every single one who knows how to speak it does.
Yeah. But I can still pronounce things.
Or they can at least sing it.
Right. Like Selena, the singer, used to be able to did before she lost her life. I can if I could still drink, I'd be able to like get over the I might say it or mispronounce it wrong, like anxiety, and it'd be fine. But so if I mispronounce your name, let me know, okay? Anyway, so leukotrienes are derived from arachidonic acid, the precursor of prostaglandins. There are over two families of leukotrienes. The first group acts primarily in conditions in which inflammation is dependent on neutrophils, such as cystic fibrosis, inflammatory bowel disease, and psoriasis. The second group, crystalline leukotrienes, is concerned primarily with eosinophil and mast cell induced bronchoconstriction and asthma. Are you hearing this shit?
No.
Okay, I'm reading. This child had severe asthma, so severe as a kid that she was only allowed outside for 30. We lived in Tucson, mind you. Okay, Mesquite, asthma central. Okay, and
particularly for a kid who was already allergic to mesquite.
We didn't know that, and not at first, and oh my God, she was on a nebulizer 3 times a day. Nebulizer 3 times a day. She had to use her rescue inhaler. She'd be taken to the office every single day before recess. She was limited to 30 minutes outside per recess. She couldn't. She knew she wasn't allowed to touch any sand, any grass, any roots. She couldn't play in kids' friends, sandboxes. She's been on hydroxyzine since she was 2. Doctor at the time was like, don't give it to her before school, she'll pass out. She will not make it to class. No, she was fine. That was when I was like, I'm pretty sure she has ADHD. Ask me how I know. And the doctor was like, nah, she's fine. Yeah, she has both. Anyway, Ellie, listen to this. Leukotrienes are derived from arachidonic acid, the precursor of prostaglandins. There are 2 families of leukotrienes, or leukotrienes. The first group are primarily in conditions in which inflammation is dependent on neutrophils, such as cystic fibrosis, inflammatory bowel disease, and psoriasis. Okay? People used to confuse my base shots with psoriasis. It's not the same thing. And the second group of cystenol leukotrienes is concerned primarily. Yes. Is concerned primarily with eosinophil and mast cell induced bronchoconstriction, and asthma. They bind up highly selective receptors on bronchial smooth muscle and other airway tissue. Is this why when I'm having a reaction, I can still breathe, but it just feels like I'm breathing an oven, like breathing in the air from like a super freaking hot oven? Am I having like freaking asthma attacks?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The leukotrienes.
Yeah, I don't. You're describing things in like 5-year-old autism, and I'm understanding none of it somehow.
Okay. I don't know how to describe it in 17-year-old autism.
I don't know either, evidently.
Okay.
Breathing in the air from a hot oven tells me nothing.
Okay.
And also, my asthma isn't like. When it gets to difficulty breathing, it's more because I've been doing physical activity and I have 5 other things that compound that.
Right, and normally your asthma also allows coughing, not wheezing.
My asthma is like wheeze and cough a little.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. So I have to talk to my doctor about all of this because it's crazy.
Not like you'd be able to actually use an inhaler safely anyway.
No, but what if it can be nebulized?
Possibly.
Because they do have portable nebulizers. They don't last as long as the regular ones. Because I just bought one last year that I had to throw away, and I have to order a new one. But this is crazy. Okay, so leukotrienes. Okay, so drugs, prescription medications have been designed which can interfere with the activity of leukotrienes, inhibit leukotriene inhibitors. Both leukotriene synthesis. I can't breathe out of my nose. Okay. Both leukotriene synthesis inhibitors and systemic leukotriene receptor antagonists have recently been shown to protect asthmatic patients against asthma attacks, but they are not useful as rescue remedies once an asthma attack has already started. They act by preventing leukotriene release from mast cells. Who knew? Mast cells play a part in asthma too. Mast cells play a part in every freaking thing. I found out from one of my mutuals the other day that mast cells are why I had preeclampsia, why I was put on bed rest at 5 months, why I had hyperemesis gravidarum full term. This stuff's crazy. They act by preventing leukotriene release from mast cells and eosinophils, or by blocking the specific leukotriene receptors on bronchial tissues, thus preventing bronchoconstriction, mucus secretion, and edema, swelling. I get swelling, facial swelling around my mouth, like this whole area, because my lips are already full, so it's hard for me to tell if my lips themselves, and it's not a flex, trust me. When you can't tell if your lips are like swelling just by looking at them, and they are, it's kind of a problem. My cheeks have to swell in order for me to go, that's a bad thing. Did you hear that part, Eliana? Nina.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Listen to this part. Okay, 1 second. I'm finding it.
That's like the 4th time that's worked on me.
Yeah, 5th time. They act by preventing leukotriene release from mast cells and eosinophils, or by blocking the specific leukotriene receptors on bronchial tissue, thus preventing bronchoconstriction, mucus secretion, and edema, facial effing swelling.
Okay, you might have it too then. Honestly, with how many things I got from you, would it be a surprise? Would it?
No, but see, you're not allergic to the poison in it too.
Yeah.
I am.
That's the thing. I got all the things from you, but for some reason, I'm still able to like take the medication for most of the things. You're just not. That's the difference.
I think the reason she's not allergic to latex and ethylene, hydrochloride, and everything that I'm allergic to is because I instinctively knew when she was a baby that I couldn't or shouldn't be touching a lot of these things. So I made my own baby food. I breastfed as long as I could until the third hospital visit that kept me there for a week for severe mastocytosis, and my midwife was like, "You can keep breastfeeding, and we can admit you every other week, or you can stop." So they had a reduction when I was 24. I used to be a triple G. Now I have triple Ds. I've had triple Ds since, and to me, they were tiny. They much smaller than they used to be, but still fit like my body shape. Right? All right. Anyway, this is blowing my freaking mind. One of my main triggers for or symptoms when I have a major MCAS, it happened last night. I knew I was going to get sick, so I sat on the freaking couch. Thank God for. How are you? Anyway, hi, Lock. How are you? And Skeeter, how are you? I knew I was gonna get sick. I absolutely knew I was gonna get sick because what I do is it's like post nasal drip, except like multiplied by like 20. Okay, or by infinity. It's a flood. It's not just a little bit. It's a lot, and it makes me gag, and I end up eventually burping like a trucker, which is I'm talking loud enough for like when we lived in a smaller apartment and people in like the people in the hall would hear it, right? And it would just be continuous. And eventually, like my stomach would have stopped like digesting anything I ate the second whatever triggered me, like was in like down past my esophagus, and it would just be like Niagara Falls. It'd be a flood, an actual freaking flood. Okay. We are not talking just postnasal drip. Um, and the theory that one of my doctors and I came up with was, well, the weird burping thing might be my body's way of trying to keep and force like constant airway opening. Because obviously if you're like actively belching, right? Your airway is forced open for that specific amount of time, right? And then eventually I get enough air trapped in my stomach and I burped long enough that I know I'm going to get sick, and then everything comes up that I ate, and it could have been 8 hours ago and it could have been last night's dinner. I usually only eat once a day, sometimes twice, and this is breaking my brain right now. Okay, so these medications also reduce the influx of eosinophils, thus limiting inflammatory damage in the airway. Okay. These oral, non-steroidal, anti-inflammatory medications reduce the incidence of acute asthma attacks when taken regularly. Am I having freaking asthma attacks that like are caused by like mast cell dumps? Is that what this shit is? Okay, I have to um sorry. I meant to I just everybody watching on YouTube, this is what I was reading from PubMed. This is from National Library of Medicine, and I will make sure I add the link to the description box so that you can read this article, okay? Because this is, let's just say, a little eye opening, especially because um, people with asthma are also on the high risk list for developing latex allergy. And I don't know why it didn't occur to me that mast cells were involved in asthma attacks. Um, my uh, chief presentation for asthma attacks, I thought was, you know, uh, not the same as hers. And it might not be the same as hers. It might involve some of the same systems, but not in the exact same way. This is blowing my mind. Um, let's see if we can find. So anyway, one one of the medications that can be used, and we were told by one of her pediatricians when she was 9 that Singular, which she'd been on since she was 2, was her most important um, histamine histamine blocker. We she did mention mast cell activation. No. Mention anything else? No. This is her most important blocker because she was also on uh, hydroxyzine, but that's just during like if there's grass out and visible. Although I will say this, when we were in Georgia last year, I thought she was going to be having hell on earth whenever she did go outside, because pollen season and everything over there. But we were far enough on the Georgia coast, close enough to the ocean, that it wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been for her. Joel, how are you? Um, and Joel, did you just hear the part that I was reading about leukotrienes and asthma and how they work? Because um, that is my that is how the Mayo Clinic diagnosed me with mast cell activation syndrome, because my leukotriene levels were sky high. And apparently, if the leukotriene levels are sky high, they can. Well, I'm going to link the article in the description box on YouTube, but I because it's from PubMed. But I will read this one part that is super important. Okay, let's take 1 second. All right. Both leukotriene synthesis inhibitors and cystenyl leukotriene receptor antagonists have recently been shown to protect asthmatic patients against asthma attack, but they are not useful as rescue remedies once an asthma attack has occurred. They act by preventing leukotriene release from mast cells and eosinophils once by blocking the specific leukotriene receptors on bronchial tissues, thus preventing bronchoconstriction, mucus secretion, and edema. What are my 3 major symptoms when I have 3 to 4 times daily MCAS reactions, I swell here. Um, the air, I can breathe. I always tell people I can still breathe. Um, it just feels like I'm standing outside. It's 120. The air is completely dry as all get out. Or I accidentally opened my mouth and breathed in too deep when I opened the oven after trying to, cook a pie. Um, for the holidays at like 425 for so long, and I take too big of a breath when I open the oven and all I inhale is just hot air. I know I'm having some kind of reaction when I cannot tell. I know I can breathe, but I can't feel the air coming down my throat because it's just as hot as my throat already is. And the swelling. Exactly. Are you on Singular? Because that's the one, that's the leukotriene inhibitor that they want me to try. The problem is that it has to be compounded for me. Um, and I need to either buy just people who want to donate to Cash App or PayPal or Venmo, or people who want to buy some of my ornaments and or Day of the Dead skulls, make them a custom. I can do it during lives, buy like you know art postcards that people can frame, um, etc., etc. Because I don't like just saying, "Can you please help with donation?" It makes me feel really weird. But here's why: the medication for it to be compounded is $291 a month. A month. I'm not working. My husband is. Um, but I'm, you know, that's $291 a month. And if this works, that's for the rest of my life, right? We don't know if it's going to work. But so they would start me with just a 1 month trial, essentially. Um, Now I'm wondering if what I'm having when I have my multiple mast cell, because I have 3 to 4 every single day reactions that clock out and on the surface look like they're like anaphylaxis, right? Um, and I am not saying that they're not, but what if it's like an anaphylactic asthmatic reaction? And the only reason that I do not take um, hello, Hogo. Sorry, my eyes are a little blurry because it's late. Um, but I don't just get postnasal flood drip. I get postnasal flood. I gag on it, and then eventually everything comes up, and my digestive system will completely stop 1 or 2 sips in to something that's completely effed me up. Um, and then everything basically sits and ferments in my digestive system, and I start burping like I'm lethargic. I can't move. I lose track of time, and eventually I shift. I start moving, and I start belching like a trucker. And eventually, I thought it was because, well, I'm trapping too much air in my digestive system, so I'm eventually going to throw up. No, that's probably not why. Now it sounds like there's an actual scientific explanation for why this is freaking happening. Hey, High Life with Auntie, how are you? So mind blown, and I need to make an appointment with my nurse practitioner and find out if it's possible to get rescue and uh, control inhaler medication that can be nebulized the same way cromolyn sodium can be. I would have to buy a travel nebulizer uh, because I'm not walking around trying to find a place to plug shit in, and I'm not carrying a backpack everywhere I go. But what if that's the problem? This is driving me insane. Um, hey, chronically me, Lisa, how are you? Um, the crazy part was when I was called, because I was called 3 days before. Hello, Patty P. I was called by the Mayo Clinic team that was taking care of me. That involved everyone from EDS clinic to fibro clinic to uh, you know a variety of others. Um,
What you doing?
what
What you doing?
taking a break because I'm gonna start playing with this so I can see if I can avoid chewing ice while I do this. I got them on TikTok.
I can maybe not throw the cheese dip actually.
But
I just like threw the cheese dip on the counter.
I got them on TikTok. Um, and I learned that these are like the spikes on this pack are like pain stims. When you would want to pick at your skin, or if you have the hair, I think trichotillomania, or any other kind of like body repetitive focus disorder. Um, yeah, I know too many medical terms because I've written about health for the last 20 years. Um, that's a response to a doctor who misdiagnosed me with something I should not have been diagnosed with. That started a whole lot of bad that I'm still trying to get removed from my medical records. But anyway, so what is leukotriene? Every article that I've pulled up on PubMed, when you look up leukotrienes, the word asthma is always involved. What, 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 and what? How? Acute asthma attacks. If you're not following me on YouTube, please subscribe over there. I'm up to 537 subscribers. It's free to subscribe over there, and all of the lives that I do are available. I try to always make sure when I go live that I try to live stream on both Twitter and LinkedIn and LinkedIn here and YouTube. Okay, thanks. Bye. And it's because on YouTube they stay and they don't disappear after 90 days. And I can hashtag them, I can SEO them, and I can add a thumbnail later if I'm feeling, a little extra spicy and know where my executive functioning is. I don't right now. But the bottom line is I can put them in any playlist that I want to, and it's easier for people to find the information they need instead of having to completely repeat myself over and over again. Hello, Gigi and Skeeter. How are you, Gigi the greatest? And if you'd like to go live, let me know. No pressure. All right, here's the second article that I found on leukotrienes and how do they work in asthma. Acute asthma attacks are often triggered by allergens or exercise. inflammatory molecules called leukotrienes are one of several substances which are released by mast cells. Why do doctors not tell their patients that their child or they have mast cell activity effing up their child or themselves when they hand them the prescription for an inhaler? I had childhood asthma, exercise induced asthma, um, when I was a kid. Um, I've had mast cell activation my whole freaking life now. So, like, it was the pregnancy that triggered everything from like bad to, from like, well, you're surviving and kind of blending to WTF levels. But after we had to run for like half an hour, and granted, 8-year-old pace, okay, we weren't expected to like, you know, be like winning like any Olympic medals, but I ran for half an hour straight with everybody else did at our own pace, circling the gym. And when our teacher came to pick us up after the class is over, we line up the way we were supposed to, and the room. I feel like disconnected. I'm like, I know that I feel weird. My stomach is dropping. My heart feels like it's racing, and before I know it, I'm projectile vomiting all over the hallway. And every single kid in line in class is like, ew. Like, I mean, obviously. I was sent to the nurse, and I was sent home just in case it was contagious. No, no, it was my mast freaking cells. Okay. So, doctors, hey doctors, tag your favorite doctor on. Share this with any doctor you know that family practice, allergists. Our favorite doctor are on allergies. Um, there's a ton of them. All right, people need to know, especially those of us who have mast cell diagnosed later in life, need to know that wouldn't this just make asthma a symptom of mast cell activation syndrome?
I don't think that would be it. I think it would be maybe you can have mast cell, and if you do, you have asthma. But if you have asthma, that doesn't mean you have mast cell.
No, it does mean leukotrienes are connected to.
That doesn't mean it's going to present the same way all the time, though.
It
That
doesn't.
doesn't mean it's going to do the same thing that mast cell does. If it's explicitly related to the asthma and the stuff that triggers the asthma, then no, that's not mast cell because those reactions aren't random.
Okay, all right, and
the actual definition of the diagnosis that you constantly rattle off to other people,
which is like POTS and EDS, like they're their own things, but they play off each
like
other.
If you know the cause and you know the reasoning behind it,
yeah,
it's not mast cell. If it's to anything at all ever, it's mast cell.
Okay, all right. So, in chronic or severe cases of asthma, general bronchial, and this is from PubMed also. Okay, if you are watching on YouTube, I am screen sharing, and if you choose to watch later, you'll be able to read through and skip through to the sources that I'm citing. Can I have a few of those? Because I'm going to share the links in the description box. This is super crazy important, okay? Because apparently I had mast cell activity or related activity happening when I was 8 years old, possibly younger, and didn't know it. Okay. So in chronic or severe cases of asthma, general bronchial hyperactivity or smooth muscle twitchiness is largely caused by eosinophils, which I believe are the white blood cells, which are attracted into the bronchioles by leukotrienes and other chemoattractants, which themselves also produce leukotrienes. 1 second. Lips going dry, tongue's going dry. I'll give it a few more minutes before mm, before I start taking my round of meds. Okay. Thus, leukotrienes seem to be critical both in triggering acute asthma attacks and in causing longer term hypersensitivity of the airways in chronic freaking asthma. Why is nobody telling us this information when we are handed our inhalers as children or as adults? Why are we not being? She's had asthma since she was 2. We were at the ER almost every month, once a month, because she would just absolute nightmare, 104-degree MCAS induced reactions and everything, and allergies to everything, that all the pollen. What the hell? Um, I How do you not tell your patients that asthma is related to mast cell activation freaking syndrome? Hey Ashante, how are you, baby? Um, Drugs have now been designed which can interfere with leukotrienes, so leukotriene inhibitors, leukotriene synthesis inhibitors, and cystinoid leukotrienes receptor antagonists have recently been shown to protect asthma patients against asthma attacks, but they're not useful as rescues. I'm sure I read this part. Um, that's why a lot of patients. That's why she has to take her medication twice a day, and she's not outside a whole lot, so she doesn't have to rescue med as often as as one would normally expect, because we homeschool, and I don't live with, like, no, we don't like the people very well, except with certain people. Wait a minute, no, I'll be right. Give me 1 second. um, Hi. Okay, I got another minute. Okay, all right. So, if you can donate or want to buy, donate $5 to my Cash App. I will send you or my PayPal or my Venmo, and I'll send you a personal thank you note on one of my original art postcards for as many as I have of these. If you want to donate 25, um, I'll send you one of these guys. Okay? Because I have, no, sorry, nope. 25 is, and I do this to myself all the time because I hate charging people for shit. But I know that I have to take myself seriously. 25 is this guy or the scary baby dolls. Okay? Look, and it's fake, so you don't even have to worry about taking care of it, because the only reason my child's still alive and the dogs are still alive is because they can tell me when they're hungry. The plants, they don't do so well. But so then the bigger ones like this, 45 includes shipping. Okay, I'm supposed to be taking Singular. All right. Singular is a leukotriene or leukotriene triene inhibitor. I have to talk to my nurse practitioner and send her basically all these things I'm coming up with, and wait for her to call me with her jaw because we do video calls. Wait for her to call me with her jaw basically being picked up off the floor when she's like, if she says what I think she's gonna say, okay? Um, which is, this is all asthma related, because the reason I stopped using and being prescribed asthma inhalers is because I'm allergic to ethylene dichloride, which is used as a freaking propellant to get the medication out of the bottle into the form that can be like inhaled and work what it's supposed to do in your airway and nasal passages, etc., etc. Okay. Um, I'm mind blown right now. But in order for my medication to be made, so first we're gonna look up. I'm gonna see if I can show this to find you. Okay, what are leukotrienes and how do they work in asthma? Physiology, leukotriene, stat pearls. All right, let's look at this one. This is from 2023. So let's see what they say. Wait a second. The headline was right below was leukotrienes and asthma and something. I was like, okay, in a second. The only antihistamine I'm not allergic to is diphenhydramine. The only form I can take is intramuscular because I'm allergic to the glycerin in the dye-free caps for OTC. I'm allergic to all the added fillers in, including the dyes in the standard forms. I'm allergic to the glycerin that's in the liquid forms. And while I could medicate with the Genexa brand of or form of diphenhydramine, that's like $12 a bottle, and I'm just rough estimating here. But if it's the same size as a regular, I did not buy this from Sam's Club or Costco bottle of baby Benadryl or children's Benadryl. That's what I'm prescribed. That's basically that's 4 doses a day for me. I'm $13 a month. That's more than $291, but not by a whole lot. All right, so this is from the NIH, right? National Library of Medicine. Written by Brian Cuso and Cyril Lappin. August 26th, 2024. Leukotrienes, LTs, are a group of inflammatory mediators that belong to the Why am I the one finding all of this out by my freaking self? Oh my god. Okay, um leukotrienes are mediators that belong to the eosinoid family, eosinophils. Okay? Tag your friends, share, like, keep tapping the screen. Because people need to know this. People need to know this. Tag, share it with your doctors. Make sure you get this out there.
By share it with your doctors, share the article thingy.
Yep.
You're not going to take the word of some random person on TikTok, no matter how much that random person knows.
Yeah, I'm reading from PubMed. So if you share the actual link and it's a doctor that is on TikTok, you have a better, that's fine. Don't share the link to my live stream with your doctor if they're not like a TikTok, like, friendly, or a TikTok participating doctor. That's when all you do is you go on
Even the ones that are on TikTok usually aren't going to take all the information on TikTok, because there's a lot of just straight up complete nonsense.
There's like 4 of them that I trust that I know of right now. One's a family doctor, one is an allergist. So if you have a doctor that you want to share any of the information that I find tonight, do not. I highly recommend this. They don't give an F what I have to say. They don't know who I am. They don't care who I am. Doctors don't like me because I'm medically complex and because I know too many medical terms. Guess what? That's how I survived for 15 years until I got diagnosed, because I had to survive on spite and the need to have an answer for why the F all of this kept on happening. Okay? Spite is a wonderful motivator. Let's continue. What you do, if anything that I am sharing tonight, I will make sure that I keep my tabs open so that tomorrow I can come in here and I can frick.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
1 minute. If it happens one more time, fuck it, I'm just doing it now. Every time. This isn't fun. 1 second. That's happened too many times. Where is? Oh, frick. One minute. Wait a minute. Did I put it? Mother effer. Pause, please. Pretend this is hold music. I'd sing, but I haven't really sung since like 8th grade choir. And I don't think it's all that great. We got invited to sing at the state capitol when I was in 3rd grade in Mrs. Miller's music class. Yeah, I remember all my teachers' names and almost all the first and last names of all of my classmates. Yep, and I wasn't diagnosed as autistic until I was 45. Gee, really weird.
If you went around advertising the fact that you remembered all those people to people who worked in the fields to diagnose you, you might have gotten diagnosed a lot quicker.
I didn't know it wasn't normal. Look, Jennifer Badrack is a really cool name. Who wouldn't forget Badrack?
Yeah, but everybody else.
Fine. I mean, Gordon and I did get in trouble in kindergarten for pushing a basket across.
Do you also? You're not gonna remember every single name, nor are you going to remember every single event. I swear to God, not everybody in the name remembers their classmate fucking Jimothy. Okay? Cut it.
We were pushing a basket of animals full of zoo animals full across the floor in the classroom during playtime, and we were told not to because we were far enough away that like there were literally a kid could have tripped over, and we kept on doing it. So Mrs. October, our kindergarten teacher, made us put our heads down during cookie and cookie time, and we didn't get our cookies that day. Um, okay. I am currently. I'm not sure where my. Seriously, I don't know where my other EpiPens are. So I'm currently doing something that I'm not recommending. I'm just telling you as an option that you can look into because this is I learned this from a video that Dr. Rubin did because he was tagged enough times by people on TikTok. There we go. There isn't just one dose of epinephrine in your pen. Okay, there's one accessible dose, but there's more than one dose. This is what I call my emergency stash. Okay, you have to be very careful. This is obviously the adrenoclick. If you happen to find the video I'm talking about from Dr. Rubin, I'm pretty sure they used the epinephrine adrenaline shot, epinephrine shot, generic version of that. Generic or brand name, I don't know, but the shape of it looked a lot more like, if I remember correctly, it looked a lot more like this than this. This, you are not going to be able to open unless you have, no way in hell a small child can do it and save her mom. You will not be opening this with your bare hands. My husband couldn't do it. He goes to the gym 6 days a week, and looks about 20 years younger than he actually
I mean,
is.
technically speaking, a small child could, but it would have to be one of those like hysterical strength situations, which you're probably not gonna have.
Yeah, or if the child happened to get in the front in the driver's seat and accidentally release the parking brake, I don't know. And the EpiPen just happens to be underneath the front tire. I don't know. All I'm saying, but then you break everything. This is Fort Knox. Okay, so these are the ones that have to be if you're going to build a stash of emergency EpiPens for bad weather, emergency like the being snowed in, blizzards, cars are not working, you can't get into the doctor, you can't find any of your freaking EpiPens. Um, um, this is power tools and protective glasses. You need a Dremel to get through this, okay? And you have to be very careful because my husband said that the spring here is so strong that you need to be prepared because the first one literally shot all the way across the garage door and hit the floor, and he was like, I honestly thought that I broke it. No, he didn't. It still works. Okay, 1 second. All right, so now look at it. Now notice, here's your viewing window, right? You only see the viewing window because humans are taught to we only notice what's there. If it can be hidden in plain sight. If we don't see it, it doesn't exist. We're told that EpiPens are one-time use only. I'm not saying to take more than your doctor says to take. I'm not saying that you do anything with this information other than save it for emergency situations. If you are or know people who live in the hurricane affected areas who cannot get to their doctors because their roads are still washed out or the doctor's offices haven't been rebuilt yet or are overfilled or they can't get EpiPens, etc., etc., etc. Don't throw away the ones that they have. There's at least in the Adrenaclick, there's probably 2 to 3 more doses of this, depending on how much you're prescribed. I'm prescribed 0.3 milligrams. I don't have to go to the hospital unless second epi doesn't work 5 to 10 minutes after I've taken my um my epinephrine. Okay. Um, the adrenoclics have more like 4 to 6 extra doses of epinephrine in the syringe that you cannot see past the viewing window. If you look up the adrenoclic patient info page, um, and literally read all of it, okay? Fine print and all. Read all of it, okay? Because there is an illusion. Okay, now we're doing it. 1 minute. There is a reference made. I did not see this on the other EpiPen or epinephrine pen. I have to look because this is the kind I've been getting. Because this is a kind that I can open with my multi-tool that my husband bought me as a gift for like 20 years ago. I can use the wrench on that to open it. I'm prescribed 3 ml. 1 second, 3 ml. 1 minute. I gotta get a smaller needle or syringe. There we go. There we go. Okay. See, this is my diphenhydramine. Okay, or diphenhydramine syringes. Um, these are my epinephrine syringes, and extra. No pen gets thrown away until the excess has been removed, which, according to the patient info page on online, you're not supposed to use or touch. Just throw that shit away. Sorry, but if I'm in the
I
middle,
don't know why they want you to throw away their own product. Like,
yeah, I don't.
but if they're putting it in, like, I'm not saying that, I'm sure there's some reason, but if they are putting the extra product in, they either should like not or they should expect you to use it. Because
The
otherwise,
part,
you're kind of wasting money.
the part that confuses me is that there is no way to reset the syringe. Once it, that's why if it misfires and no medication comes out, that medication is now trapped inside the pen and you can't access it, especially if you don't know that there's more than what the viewing window lets you see.
Yeah.
Adrenoclick has an additional 5 to 6. I believe. It's been a little while. I only have a few of those left.
I feel like it might just be like a liability thing, just like don't do this, and we're not gonna tell you why, but like it's probably because like you might hurt yourself, but maybe emergency services might know.
Possibly.
But also, I've seen several who don't.
I've actually, if you do EpiPen hack search on Google and YouTube, you're going to find plenty of articles. You know, the dirty Epi hack, how to Epi dirty, EpiPen costs rising so high that people are creating their own. Blah 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 blah. Are they just as safe? All right, so like there's already a lot of information out there, and I personally, like my husband, we're not like hardcore preppers. We don't have like a bunker or anything, but like my mother-in-law can't. They have their and father-in-law have a garden. They keep bees. They do a lot of canning every year. And 1 second, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that counts as 1. I can do it again in 5 to 15 if necessary. And because that was one too many times of me having to clear my throat. And now this is starting to make This is like the longest Nancy Drew book I've ever freaking read in my life. And I didn't know I was a character in the book. But because my mask cells are like, hey, guess what? We're here. Um, my blood vessels are like, guess what? So are we. And every time I have to self administer medication while I am going through a mast cell reaction, uh, base sets or otherwise, because base sets um, also triggered by mast cells. Um, Please tap the screen. We are at what, 323, 230. I want to get to 500. My original goal was was 1,000. I want to get to 500. We can do this. Okay. Um, if anybody is interested or willing, um, I will do 30-minute video calls with you for $20 donations, Cash App, 1 second, PayPal, um, non-medical advice that just showing you how you can um, give me a topic that you need a doctor to answer or an answer for a doctor. And I will show you and provide how to find those links, um, and provide you with an email to all of those links. Because again, the doctor doesn't give a damn and shouldn't give a damn who I am. Okay. Um, and you sure as heck, unless you have known your doctor for a very long time, and have like that level of trust that those that we used to have when we were kids, when we were seeing our doctor who like delivered us when we were like 18, right? Still when we were 18, right? Like we had the same doctor like our entire lives. That doesn't happen anymore, especially not with everybody moving all the time. Or maybe that's just us. But anyway, this is not a hey, I don't need to like try to get extra epi prescriptions, hack, whatever. Um, these are strictly, again, occasionally I need to, when I am, oh my God, where is it? I can't find it, freaking out. But for I'd say 99.9% of the time, um, the excess go into a shoebox. I'm probably gonna get something stronger, um, maybe like a lockbox, and that's where these are gonna go for tornado season, for blizzards, for ice storms, for any reason, the zombie apocalypse starting tomorrow. Absolutely any reason why. Um, if I've got, canned tomatoes and green beans, both of which I can't probably eat, because high mast cells and latex allergy crosses. Um, the point being, if I have to can food or learn how to can food or buy some canned food off of my mother-in-law, unless we're all going to the same bunker, I don't know. If zombie apocalypse hits tomorrow, I need to also have medication available to me for an extensive amount of time, not knowing how soon after entering, you know, your secret hiding place, um, before like civilizations like, yeah, sure, you can start seeing your doctor again if that, right? Um, will I have to taper down and make things last longer, yes, but I also probably won't be eating very much, especially since so many foods are processed. Um, and if I don't see an ingredients list, I can't have it. I'm probably going to be surviving off chicken breast and blueberries. Not kidding. That's about all I'd be able to do. Um, that's it. One second. Yes, eyebrows are swollen. See that? That's not from my hat. Um, because my hat stops there. My eyebrows are swollen. Hey, Brandy Lee, how are you? Um, I can feel it. They are. I become highly aware of any certain part of my body where there is swelling, that where there is normally not swelling taking place, around the corners of my mouth, inside my cheek. I woke up the other day, after the morning I had 103.7 temp. Um, the inside of my right cheek near the back molar that I have felt like I felt like it had been punched in my jaw while I was sleeping. Um, because I had swollen so much on the inside of my cheek that it hurt like hell. So okay, leukotrienes. This is PubMed again. So LTs are a group of inflammatory mediators belonging to the cyanoid family. Their synthesis, primarily by leukocytes, is spurred. One second. Hello. Well, sorry. Haha. Weirdness, nice. I'll invite you in, but let me finish reading this before you say anything, okay? If you decide to join, their synthesis, primarily by leukocytes, is spurred by a variety of immunological and mimical, huh? Mimic, what the hell? Monomaniologic stimuli. We're going to go with that, including other antigens, immune complexes, complement cytokines, osmosis challenges. Osmosis challenges? Tried that. I fell asleep with my face in my algebra book in high school. It didn't do shit. Okay. Um, Osmotic challenges and pollutants, among others. These molecules collectively serve a variety of purposes aimed at furthering the inflammatory cascade via alterations in vascular permeability, effects in leukocytes, and construction of smooth muscle, most notably the bronchoconstriction that results from the action of leukotrienes at play are a vital role in the pathologically of asthma, which creates opportunity in the utilization of targeting pharmacopsychotherapy to treat asthma and similar diseases. Hey, get your life. How are you? Let me know if you want to go live. Um, Cellular level. The synthesis of leukotrienes. Let me switch. Sorry, YouTube. Here you go. Switch. Here you go. This is still PubMed. This is the NCBI. All right. The synthesis of leukotriene primarily occurs in the leukocytes. Different leukocytes tend to predominantly produce a specific leukotriene, either intolerant leukotriene B, the LTB, or this sustenal class of leukotrienes. I'm gonna have to look at my Mayo Clinic chart to see which one I was tested for, because 10 more minutes, and if I'm still a mess, I can epi one more time. All right. The second epi always works, so okay. Neutrophils are the primary synthesizer of LTB, leukotriene B, and produce little of the sustenal leukotrienes. Eosinophils, basophils, and mast cells, everybody's favorite word, are the primary producers of the sustenal leukotrienes. Really? Why didn't anybody tell me that before? Okay. They have minimal capacity in produce. They have limited. They have minimal capacity to produce LTB. Somebody's talking about me. I think it's bad. I'm pretty sure right ear is the good and left ear is the bad. Okay, that's cool. If the haters want to show up to the party, that's cool. I don't have any cupcakes made, but we're not passing out party favors at this little shindig because I did not have time to make sure that everybody had food that was safe for them. So there's the water fountain. Here's the water. Put it in a fancy glass and call it wine. Have fun. Okay. All right. So neutrophils synthesize LTB and produce little of the sustenal leukotrienes. Eosinophils, basophils, and mast cells, primary production of sustenal leukotrienes. They have minimal capacity to produce LTB. Macrophages and mammocytes serve as intermediaries, having adequate capacity to produce both LTB and the sustenal leukotrienes. Other cells typically do not produce significant levels of leukotrienes, as they often do. Wait. Other cells typically do not produce a significant link of leukotrienes, as they often do not express 5-lipogenesis or 5-lipogenesis activating protein. FLAP is the acronym. However, calls on cells can take up leukotriene A produced by leukocytes and then synthesize bioactive leukotrienes if they express more nasal enzymes in the metabolic pathway. Do you know I wasn't able to breathe out of my nose at all for 15 years, and I haven't been able to breathe out of my nose this past week because I keep on forgetting to order more of the Heart Guard chromo and sodium. That stuff's freaking life changing for me. Your doctor. Don't just show up in the hat. But my daughter's doctor was like, "You can take that off now," and she was like, "No." I didn't feel like doing my hair, so that's why I'm wearing my hat. I'm autistic. I'm not taking the hat off because I like it. And he was like, "Okay." I told you his girlfriend knows how to stand up for herself. All right, so um, let me see. So leukotrienes exert their effects by binding receptors in an autocrine or a paracrine fashion. Um, these recognize those. These recognize these receptors are G protein coupled receptors, GPCR, that once bound activate a G protein, blah, 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 blah. Birds and the bees. Okay, fine. The other different type of leukotriene, ever both common and distinctive effects, in general, LTB3 and the systemic leukotrienes exert effects by separate, 1 minute, binding classics of receptors LTB and LTB, LTB and lost my spot 1 second. LTB. I lost the word. Where the hell did I end up in the sentence? Well, okay, fine. Leukotrienes are all involved in that part of asthma too, okay? Collectively, in the different types of leukotrienes, this ever common, this is, wait. Leukotrienes also exert common effects. Leukotrienes program the movement of almost all leukocyte types into tissue and amplify the effects of T2 helper cells.
Do you want a hot dog?
This is hot dog.
You just snatched it.
He was in my Christmas snacking for my husband. He got them from Snake Discovery. They're on YouTube. They're really awesome. They have their own mini little
And she knows about them because I forced her to watch. I don't know.
Like every other autistic kid who dragged their parent there, and made sure that they recited every single thing that they, everything, and told us, what both characters like to wear most time, main characters like to wear, most of the time, and yeah, oh my god. Oh my freaking god, you guys. See, I knew that the asthma allergy is community was at higher risk for developing latex allergy because of undisclosed medical practices, like some might ask you what the best anesthesia is for you or whatever, and then be like, yeah, she's out, it's fine, it's not gonna matter. Yes, it does. Your doctors need to know if you have mast cell activation syndrome. All right, okay. All right, let's see. Anyway, if anybody, let me take a quick break here. if anyone would like to or is willing to donate to my let's hopefully break it and not just make it idea I've got in my head, if I get my booty down 2 hours south, um, or 2 hours north, whichever, he's in one of the directions. Um, and if it's a 12-month wait, then my husband, if my husband might be moving by himself, and we'll join him 2 months later. We don't have an exact date or like 100% yet, so that's why I said if. Okay, so, um, all right, see, rosacea. I've told this to people a bunch of times, and everybody's like, "No." Rosacea. Listen in now. Rosacea. The where did it go? Oh, for frick's sake! Huh. All right, you know what? We're just gonna do this. I'm just gonna read this part, and I'm leaving the rest of the link of the article for you in the description box when I upload tomorrow. The synthesis of leukotrienes, primarily acute in leukocytes. Okay, lovely. Um, or in the or in the societal class of leukotrienes. Neutrophils are the primary synthesizer of LTB and produce little of the sustainable leukotrienes. Eosinophils, basophils, and mast cells are the mastocytes serve as a God. Okay. They serve as a digest aid to basically help calm your stomach. Okay. Leukotrienes or leukotrienes, however you want to pronounce it, synthesis with the L-lipogenesis consistency of the book, which is described as where is it? One minute. Okay, you know what? It's getting really late. Um, and I have felt like absolute crap for the past 4 days now. You're kidding. I can breathe out of my nose again. That's crazy. Because I haven't been able to breathe out of my nose for the week that we were waiting until we got the filter changed. A filter. Oh my god. I wish I could be a fly on the wall when my nurse or assistant opens up the emails for me. Not emails, but the my chart messages for me. And goes, W to the F now? What? And runs this over to her. Because they know PubMed, they know NCBI, they know JAMA, they know all of that. And this isn't just me walking and going, yeah, I think I have mass solitary syndrome because I saw a video on TikTok. Don't ever do that. You might have mass solitary syndrome. A video on TikTok might have triggered a memory or an instance where you were like, oh, wait a second, that should never have happened to me. I don't know what set it off, whatever, but unless you're Dr. Rubin, doctors don't want to hear in their office that you heard your information, from a YouTuber or a TikTok content producer. It, uh, it's not going to help your case. It's going to make it worse. Okay? Really. So Elon Musk with 17 followers and 26 following is following me. And Elon has a profile picture of a man of color with let's just say he's got a tan. A little bit darker than mine.
I don't think that's Elon. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's on TikTok watching a person talk about mast cell with a tiny account that somehow no one knows but has his actual real name.
That's just his username. His actual name, if I'm right, is Mauricio or Murillo. It's a Spanish name or a Puerto Rican name or a Cuban name. It's a Latin name. Okay.
Are you forgetting that all of those places speak Spanish?
Yes, but different pronunciations. Okay.
That doesn't make it not a Spanish name.
Shush. So I'm talking about. Again, about the mucus secretion. That's one of my worst symptoms after the panic attack because that impending doom feeling. Because you never know how bad the next one's going to be, and then when it is bad or worse than your norm, then you wake up the next day and your face and your cheek hurt from the inside out because you've literally kept on biting your tongue and your cheeks in your sleep that you're not supposed to normally bite at. And you're like, great. I'll just be chewing on ice today, thanks. Can I get you a second serving of, ham or rice or whatever? It's like, why? Why are we just finding out about this? Lastly, leukotrienes a common connection to various cancers. Of course they do. Of Chronic inflammation leads to an increased risk of certain cancers. For example, the chronic inflammation provided by inflammatory bowel disease appears to promote the transformation to colorectal cancer. Can't read the actual word because I'm not gonna try and butcher that word. In such patients, these cancers have increased expression of C and Z19 eight more letters and numbers. Okay. All right. It's gonna be linked in the description box. Okay. Um. Uh. Lastly, look at treatments of a common view on various cancers. What chronic inflammation leads to an increased risk of certain cancers. For example, the clinical inflammatory prolonged or provoked by the uninflammatory hand or IBD such or whatever it might be. Lastly, leukotrienes have a connection to various cancers. Once leukotrienes have leads to an increase of risk of certain cancers. For example, the animalistic dreams. Yeah. Um. Oh my god. All right. This one was written by like multiple, peer-reviewed doctors. That's insane. But I'm leaving that link out so I can make sure I go on to the description box and make sure I put all the links up before I share this video over there. Let's just say I knew it was going to be something. I just wasn't expecting it to be this. And I feel like Nancy Jude and the freaking Hardy Boys just, apprehended the criminal who's like, it wasn't me, let's get whatever. I didn't even know it. That's, oh my god. Oh, sweet Jesus. I actually forgot you were here on TikTok. Hi. My brain is processing all of this freaking information because how come nobody told us this before? I understand that mast cell activation syndrome is not implicated in every single latex allergy or latex allergy related condition. I understand that Europeans like to wear their, you know, certain styles that just scream I'm European and would look ridiculous and trying to show off like, hey, I can be European. Role playing for the wrong reasons. Okay, and anyway, um, she fixed it. Let me see if it will work now. So we're gonna check if that works, and then um, yeah, we'll go from there. Because oh, good lord. All right, so that's the physiology of leukotrienes, or a shortened version of. Um, I'll see your 10 food MCAS online leukotriene modifiers. I think we're gonna end here, and we'll start tomorrow with leukotriene modifiers. Again, I'm gonna ask that you please. I don't know. I can let you on for just a minute, but I'm gonna try and get off on like the next 5. Um, because I've been feeling like absolute garbage for the last few days, and I think I know why now. But can't change the past, so we're going with what we got. Okay. All right. Oh my god, this is crazy. I wasn't expecting this at all. Okay, my brain is overwhelmed with processing way too much right now, so I'm gonna call this one good for tonight, and I will see you on the flip side. Please share. Please, if share with your friends. And if any of the information that I share in the description box, don't just take your phone with Instagram open to my account, because that's usually that's usually going to make things worse. Okay. So what you need is just to print out the list of the NCBI, the JAMA, and you know, PubMed, all of that. They want the peer-reviewed research. That's what and that makes sense. But nobody ever told us any of this, and you'd think, but okay, I'm not going down that rabbit hole again. Okay, hiding out. Probably gonna medicate again for bed, and get upstairs to relax. My brain's just blown right now. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so stay safe, stay aware. I mean, stay aware with the smallest point black point pen you have, or felt more, or whatever. I'll find a way to make it work. I've got an idea for okay, I'm gonna go now. Ugh. We've done a great job of making sure that a lot of Americans are both allergic to the poison and the cure when it comes to various things. And I'm going to tell you this too. Um, when I was able to tell the construction guys working on the different townhomes in this community, um, somebody was like motioning to his throat and I was like, "Oh, you can't swallow anything," and he was like, "No, no, no." And I said, "Give me a few minutes." So we went to the kitchen, and oh my god, okay. And stream, have a good night, and holy cow, we shall speak again soon. Okay. And stream. There you go. Alright. So this one's gone. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here like, what the hell did I just read? Hey EB. Um mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. All right. Have a good night. If you have any questions, please do me a favor. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. No monthly minimums required. I do a Patreon um, of 10 quart, whatever the hell. Big enough to like house two full like nests full of baby quail, and grows up teaching them all how to be basically just the cutest thing in the world. You might want to go watch that now, because yeah, there's a little bit of political stuff in there in the fact that that's who they happen to be. You know, there are people who of certain races and such in pictures. Um, that's a little bit of understatement. You'll understand what I mean when you see it. But the point is, we just found the Pink Panther, and it's completely. There's like 3 broadcasts. So okay, I'm gonna go now. Beat my head into the nearest hard surface. Have a good night. All right.